Beneath this mound is the largest graveyard of intact Roman artifacts ever found. But it wasn't always an archaeological site, it was once a garbage dump. In 1939, construction workers in the Italian city of Piazza Armerina stumbled upon a series of underground tunnels filled with priceless artifacts from the Roman era. It looked like someone had emptied the contents of a museum into a subterranean labyrinth. There were marble statues of all shapes and sizes, some depicting mythological creatures like centaurs and satyrs, others showing scenes from daily life in ancient Rome. There were also busts of famous Romans like Julius Caesar and the Emperor Hadrian. And to top it all off, there was gold, lots of it. It was one of the greatest archaeological finds of all time, so valuable that it would make every other discovery that year look quite laughable in comparison. To give you an idea of the scale of the find, just think about this. At the time, the Italian government was spending roughly $6 million a year on all of its museums. And yet here was one find that was worth more than all of Italy's museums combined. But the workers didn't have much time to appreciate the statues or daydream about what it must have been like to live in the days of the Caesars. They had to get to work and fill the tunnels back up with trash. And so the world might have never known about the true extent of the Piazza Armerina hoard if it hadn't been for an anonymous tip years later. In 1969, someone contacted the Italian authorities and told them that they knew the location of a secret cache of Roman artifacts. Intrigued, the police followed the tip and soon discovered the entrance to the underground labyrinth filled to the brim with priceless artifacts. As it turned out, the construction workers had only filled in about half of the tunnel system when they came across it by accident nearly 30 years earlier. The rest of the tunnels remained hidden until that anonymous tip. What's more, this was no accident. The artifacts had been deliberately buried there by someone who wanted to protect them from looters and grave robbers. The person responsible was likely a former museum employee named Amedeo Maiuri. In 1943, Allied bombs destroyed his house and killed his wife and son. Unable to cope with the loss of his family, and perhaps hoping to build some kind of bizarre shrine to them in the afterlife, he began buying up artifacts and burying them in the catacombs. After the war ended, he attempted to retrieve the objects but realized that the entrances had been filled in. Sadly, Maiuri died in 1969, just months before the treasure was rediscovered. He never saw the museum that bears his name today or the thousands of visitors who come from all over the world to marvel at the collection of Roman artifacts that he so painstakingly collected and buried. If you want to see these artifacts for yourself, you can visit the Museo Nazionale Romano in Rome, where many of the statues and other objects are on display. You can also visit the Villa del Casale in Piazza Armerina, where a few of the sculptures have been set up to recreate the original atmosphere of the Roman villa where they were originally found. There are still plenty of unanswered questions. For example, who were some of the patrons that commissioned these works? Who were the artists behind them? And what happened to the rest of the collection? Unfortunately, unless more artifacts turn up, we may never know the answers to these questions. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe so you won't miss any new videos.